Hey now, so it is Saturday, December 10th. We are at El Maestro, El Immortal, and that is the great Martin Dihigo. And people could say that Ohtani is the greatest pitcher slash hitter ever to play the game. That's just recency bias. That's like taking away the Negro Leagues altogether. There is like Bullet Rogan and there is Martin Dihigo. But before we get into Martin Dihigo, let's do some quick housekeeping. I want to thank everybody who has watched a tax video of mine, liked this video, subscribed to this channel, or has watched. I did like 2 videos of all my collections in my vault. And I just did another one for all my baseballs. And the reason is because I need watch time. I need to get to 4,000 hours. And even though I have over 1,000 subscribers, thank you all, I'm not close to those 4,000 hours. Secondly, is the fact that I am running a 1,000 subscriber contest. You can look at that on my page just a few videos ago. I do need a video response from people. It's what their favorite autograph is and why. I have a total of 0 responses right now, I believe. I'm okay with that because I don't want to give anything away. I hate giving away autographs, but I'm willing to do it. I have some very nice ones, a matter of fact. So I hope you watch that. So that's the housekeeping. Let's move on to Martin Dihigo. Dihigo is a 10 out of 10 autograph on the PSA rarity scale. He died in 1971 and got in the Hall of Fame in 1977 as part of the Cuban Stars. Now, even though he's in the Hall of Fame as the Cuban Stars were actually in the United States of America, the Eastern Negro League. They were called the Cuban Stars because they thought it would draw more people in because like, oh, this is like exotic. People from Cuba are coming to play, even though Martin Dihigo was indeed from Cuba. Other players weren't. So passed away in 1971. A lot of people, both black and white that played with him, thought he was arguably the greatest player ever to play the game. I think he won like over 260 games in the Negro Leagues and batted over 300. Like, Ohtani would kill for that, let's be honest. Because of that, his autograph is very rare. Jim Stinson's the first dealer I know of that actually went to Cuba before they opened it up to Americans, like after like the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, and said, let's go look for Dihigo's autograph. Unfortunately, by then, other people have come trying to get it. I guess they've been coming since his induction in 1977. First, they got real stuff, but then eventually the story, according to Jim Stinson, is his family, as a matter of fact, started manufacturing autographs to meet demand because obviously money is very tough to come by. And if people are willing to pay for a Dihigo autograph, let's give them a Dihigo autograph. Like, we can't say no to money, which unfortunately is understandable. So because of that, they say there's a lot of fakes in the market. Now, I don't see fakes very often. I did see one. I'm going to show it to you that is most likely fake. There's other ones that are questionable because of his autograph, let's say, evolving over time. So without any further ado, we are going to get into the autograph analysis of Martin Dihigo. But before I do that, I don't even have his pulled up on the PSA database. Let me just do that while we're doing. So again, think of your favorite autograph and let me know. And send a video. Let me know in the you know where. You know how to do this. You're all very well educated people. So okay, let's jump to it. So first of all, this is my autograph. Now, we'll get to this one day about it, but this is a signed letter from Martin Dihigo to his son. I was nervous about buying letters because, according to Jim, there were letters forged. What I like about my letter is the fact that it has additional writing below it, as you can see down here. And it has this little, let's say, LL right here, which we're going to get to right now in a second. So let's get to that right now. Because Martin Dihigo's full name was, something Martin Dihigo Llanos. So if you go to the PSA database, like these are, if I could have any Martin Dihigo autograph, it would be like this. He was a witness on these Cuban professional baseball players' contracts. And a lot of these, I shouldn't say a lot, let's say 10 to 20 of these maybe have gotten out. And they're out there. They're like, I won't say impossible. They maybe pop up once a year, once every other year. And these are, I mean, it has the picture on it and everything. These were signed in the 1940s. And what you're going to notice is with all of these, he signs at Martin Dihigo, and you're going to see the LL for Llanos. So And Ron says this also, when you're looking for a Dihigo autograph, it's so important to see that the Dihigo doesn't end at the O over here. Now, this is very rush. I'm trying to see a better one right here. So again, this is another one. So when I look for the Martin Dihigo autograph, I'm looking for a couple of things right here. Number one is I like to see vertical. I don't want to see real round. I want to see ups and downs, like you could see right here, if that makes any sense at all. We don't know much about him when he returned to Cuba. Brian doesn't think he signed any autographs after like the mid 1950s. So here, this is 1946. I believe this is good. And again, we're seeing right here, since Llanos was his last name, even though it was known as Martin Dihigo, we want to see like an LL or a full name spelled in at the end right here. So that's very important. It's his, unfortunately, the name is not always fully fluid. But again, what I also want to see here with the Dihigo is you can almost see that it's the D comes down. It doesn't go up and around. And we're going to get to that in a second. And again, finally, usually the I and the N to me look more like a W right here. It's not a very pronounced N. Moving on right here. Okay, this is one of the contracts we looked at earlier. It's maybe the same contract for all I know. And again, these are all good. I don't see anything bad. Again, you see a lot of up and down action right here. Again, to me, that looks more like a W. The N is not very pronounced at all. And again, you can see like there's an LL right here at the end. Again, here's another one for Jose Fernandez, another player. We can't see because this is sort of in the way. But yeah, Jose Fernandez is another player. Again, right here. This is a little different. I know the D doesn't come all the way down. But again, the N, not very pronounced. It's a little more pronounced right here. But there's no question that, like I said, these documents are good. I don't know how they got out of Cuba. I'm going to assume were not stolen because everything in Cuba is for sale, pretty much. And again, you see the LL right here. So again, in a perfect world, we're going to come back to this in a little bit. Again, another one right here. Another one of these documents right here. And again, okay, we've gone through the whole PSA database. So moving on right here. Again, I want to go to the REA. This is, I believe, is a contract that he signed. It came out in 1939. You can see it's still the M. Dihigo Llanos. There's no Martin right here. This sold for $1,200 back in 2005. Again, this is a very tough autograph, Martin Dihigo. Don't expect just to go out there and look for one and say, oh, I have money now for Martin Dihigo. I'm going to go buy it. You have to be really careful because, again, there's a lot of controversy. I'm just picking some random autographs right here. Let's see if this will even pop up. So this sold in 2019. Again, the D comes down as you see right here. To me, again, the N is like I want to see, not very pronounced. You see the LL at the end. I mean, this is one of those autographs I went by just by looking at it and say, oh, it looks good to me. It must be real. Well, let's get to that one a little. Hakes came out with a bunch of them. I don't know how many people are familiar with Hakes auctions. They came out with a bunch of stuff from the family. This came out a while ago. This is from 1941. It's kind of tough to see right here, but again, it has the nice W that you want to see. And even again, the O right here comes out with an LL. Now I want to move to Heritage. This autograph you can bid on right now. And I don't want to say it's fake. I don't know for sure. I am just personally not a fan. The reason is this is a 1938 autograph, and we looked at some 1939 autographs. And by then, again, I want to see something with the LL or the Llanos in it. I mean, I like the M. I like the fact that the I is in the end is not very pronounced. But I just don't like the fact that it just ends with this little thing right here. And it's beautiful. And it's more round than it is up and down. It's very almost feminine, for lack of a better word, I want to say. So just if you're bidding on it, I mean, just be careful. Do your own due diligence. If you like it, go for it. I'm trying to see. Okay, this one right here. Now, this is called out in Ron's book. This sold. This did not have a TPA. I'll make that very clear when it sold. As you can see, the N is much more pronounced right here. The M comes around and up like that. And again, there's no Llanos at the end. So it's Ron's opinion, and I agree with his opinion that these autographs like this are fake. So I guess the bottom line at the end of the day with buying a Martin Dihigo autograph is, A, you better have some money. It's much more rare than you realize, even though he lived to the 1970s. Number two is the fact that if I were looking at an autograph, it better have that LL at the end. I would prefer an autograph that's not like a cut of his. I would prefer a document or a letter or something signed like that. Again, those with the pictures on top. Those are the best ones. That's the best way to get a Martin Dihigo autograph. It's money not an issue and time not an issue. Because again, I'd say he pops up twice a year if you're lucky. And that's it with El Maestro. We're going to move on to probably one of the autograph videos that has scared me the most, and we'll get to it next time. I'll probably do it on the 2-year anniversary of me joining YouTube, and that is Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. But until then, as always, like, subscribe, tell your friends, watch my other videos, and keep collecting.